What's up, good people? Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. Hope you guys had a great, finally freaking Friday. It is pouring down rain here, and listen, you know what? It's kind of crazy because for a while we kept getting rainstorm after rainstorm. And I used to feel bad for everybody in California because I knew how dry it was. And now, the rain just, well, actually, I think it just kind of gave them, there's a couple of days where it's going to dry out. But it has been relentless with these atmospheric rivers out there. But at least the reservoirs are filling up. And surprisingly, this time of year, Lake Mead doesn't gain any water, but they're actually beginning to gain a little bit. But it's got a long ways. They literally say that Lake Mead and Lake Powell may never fill up in our lifetime. Well, my lifetime versus some of you younger people are a different story. So let's hope that they're wrong on that one right there. But it's amazing because it was 80 degrees yesterday. It was hot. I put on shorts. I turned the AC on because I can't sleep when it's hot. I don't sleep well when it's hot. I perspire, I sweat, I got a soaking wet. I just can't. I like to be cold. But this is really chilly out here. We literally have dropped about 40 degrees in one day. That's just not normal. Things change quickly. And that's where the Cowboys, it's kind of interesting here. Now, I don't know if this is true or not, but I believe it might be, that the NFL owners and Roger Goodell have gotten together and said, we need to slow our roll on free agency and trades. This, trade number one picks for, guys left and right and things like that. And all these big contracts are hurting the bottom line. Because think about this. Roger Goodell set out in public to the owners about firing coaches and leaving these contracts with money on it. Well, I hate to tell you, the coaches' contracts are chump change in comparison to some of these huge contracts that we're getting for players. When you start talking about, 250 million guaranteed, is it 250 or 230? 230 million fully guaranteed? How many coaches does that equal? We heard John Gruden getting $100 million for 10 years. That's only $10 million a year. But the money that had been flying out on free agents and trades and stuff like that, the NFL finally decided, or I think they've decided, that we need to slow our roll in this. This year, let's teach the players a lesson. Let's teach them a little bit about humble pie. Odell originally we heard was looking for $20 million. Which we all thought was unrealistic, but we figured it would at least be a Michael Gallup type deal. But apparently, it sounds like he's saying he's only been offered $4 million. You see Jalen Ramsey traded for a third. Brandon Cooks, we got him for a fifth and got the Texans to eat $6 million of his contract. They wanted a first last year and you to pay the whole contract. And I say all this because as you see Jalen Ramsey traded for a third and some of the other moves, there haven't been really these major ones. And even Hargrave's contract for the type of player he is kind of light. And I hate to say this, but it wouldn't surprise me if Zeke Elliott doesn't find a team this year. I hate to say that, but I never thought that Cam Newton wouldn't find a home this past year with the way quarterbacks are needing. Now, the craziest shit I heard was Adam Thielen saying that he was signing with the Carolina Panthers because he believes that they can win a Super Bowl. That he had other teams, including the Cowboys, that wanted him, but, they don't have a chance at the Super Bowl. And I started to go along with him until he said, because they signed Andy Dalton, that I believe that they're close to being a Super Bowl team. Yo, Adam, come here. Andy Dalton is 0-4 in the playoffs. The last time he was in the playoffs was 2014. 2014. I mean, I mean, maybe that was PR, that you try to make friends with the guys that just paid you and all that. But come on, man. Andy Dalton and a rookie quarterback. That's your Super Bowl team. You're a Super Bowl team. Come on, man. But here's my point in all this. The only mega deal that we've seen out there was the Carolina Panthers literally giving up everything, and I mean everything, for the number one pick. And I hate to say this, but I'm sitting here thinking about all of the mega trades that people have done to try and get quarterbacks. You saw the Rams do that to try and get Jared Goff. We saw the Eagles do that with Carson Wentz. We saw the Bears do that to move up for Mitch Trubisky. I can't recall a major move up for a quarterback where it's actually worked in recent years. Last one I can remember is the trade for Eli. Maybe I'm missing one, but I can't think of any where those have been, oh, great move. Good thing we gave up the farm for that guy. But I'm going to say, thus far, the moves that the Cowboys have been able to make on the bargain basement, 2 fifth-round picks, and we've got that kind of experience, those are no-risk, high-reward type moves. And I would say, with the way that the money and the trading has gone thus far, that this would be a good time for the Cowboys to say, we're going to go all in. Because all in isn't like it was last year. All in last year was you had to get in line to sign these guys. Right now, Hopkins, his stock is falling. And the Cardinals know we got to do something or else we're going to hold this whole thing. Now, it would behoove them, actually, it would behoove them to make a trade post June 1st, because then they would get more of that money. They would only take a $10 million cap hit this year. But they got to do something, or else they're going to be on the chain for that big-ass contract. And knowing that the money is drying up, you can still get quality players, relatively inexpensive. And I would suggest the Cowboys having $16 million right now, with another 11 coming, and possibilities of getting other money if they go through and do an extension to Dak Prescott, this would be a good time. This would be a great time to try and grab a few more players to get you over the hump. I'd love to see work on the offensive line. I'd love to see some work on the defensive line, because being able to run the football and stop the run is key when it gets cold. And I'll be honest with you, you just don't know when it's going to turn cold again. Y'all saw me out here. It was warm yesterday. It was hot yesterday. And now it's cold and rainy. You better play for those rainy days. But remember, everybody, remember, tell the people you love them. Because you might not get the chance again. And a lot of y'all remember donating and helping us to help one of our friends, Stuart Morrison. Stuart, who I miss a lot. Stuart's mother, for 20 some odd years, has been taking care of Stuart and being his guardian angel, so to speak. She has had a multitude of illnesses and, older age is catching up to her, and needs assistance. And I'm sure being in the house without Stuart is totally different than when he was alive. So Stuart's wish was for us to help take care of his mother. Today, the house is for sale. And I hope and pray that they get great money for it, because the money is going to be used to help take care of her for the rest of her life. And this is the thing that most of us don't think about, is when you get old. I don't know how long Social Security is going to be there. Talking about up in the age, cutting it for younger people, or, who knows? But Social Security ain't going to be enough for you to live on. You have to plan for your future. And I've seen so many people that as they get old and aren't able to work anymore, that they don't have it for retirement. I've seen people who have gotten reverse mortgages where, the house has been in the family for 40 years, but the only way they can make it is a reverse mortgage. And by the time that person goes, there's nothing to pass down to their kids. Make sure you think about a rainy day. You think about, before you go out and buy those new rims or those, $300 pair of Nikes and stuff like that, or just piss it down drinking a whole bunch of liquor. Make sure you put a little something away every month, especially you NFL players. If you just take 10% of that money and put it in an investment to make sure you got something to live on, because the NFL, when they done with you, they done with you. And next weekend, we have the autograph signing show. And I think about, all the Cowboys are on Saturday, but I'm going to make a point of going Sunday because I want to see Damar Hamlin. Here's how crazy it is. I'm so thankful that he's okay. But because he has not been in the league for 3 years, he's not vested. And because he's not one of those big name players that have those big contracts, because it's still young, let's say he was permanently disabled at about 24 years old. NFL ain't got any workman's comp. If you're not vested, you're not getting help. You're on your own. Think about your future, guys. Plan for it. One less latte a week. You do it young, it adds up. But remember to tell the people you love them. You might not get the chance again. I love you guys. God willing, I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.